if you're neurodivergent, you more likely than not have experienced perseverative noise, this phenomenon where your brain locks onto something and loops a thought ad nauseum. And it can take the form of ruminating about the past, worrying about the future, and obsessing, often all three happening in tandem, creating this toxic cocktail. And the noise is always there, buzzing along as you're trying to get on with your day. You're busy with an activity, you're socially engaging, you're at work, and in the background, the wheels are spinning. The brain is perseverating and fixating and worrying and ruminating and obsessing endlessly about something that you consciously do not want to worry or think about or fixate about. And it just does it of its own accord. And often the thing that triggers this is something that is anxiety provoking. A shift in routine, somebody expressing aggression, or an email that is ambiguous and could imply judgment or punishment or some negative outcome, anticipating any kind of negative outcome, anything that's a shift that's unexpected and that could have a negative repercussion for you, your brain will loop about it. And sometimes it does it even about unrelated things like words, where I get, like, for example, words looping in my brain, or segments of a song, like a chorus looping. And those are the more innocuous forms. It's the other forms that bother me the most, because I will find that my mood will degrade and that I will start to slump into anxiety or depressive thinking, because my brain is doing this perseverative thing about something that's happened or something that could happen that I do not want to think about. I can even tell myself, I can self-parent and tell myself, it is okay, you're safe, you don't need to worry about this. But the brain does it of its own accord. We can be highly emotionally intelligent, self-aware individuals and still have perseverative noise. And you can come really far along in your journey of personal development or healing or growth, and this psychic phenomenon will dog you because it is part of our wiring in our brains. It is not a result of necessarily distorted thinking that we've acquired as a result of negative experience. It's the neurology of being autistic or ADHD that leads us to experience perseverative thinking a lot of the time. And yes, neurotypicals can experience perseverative thoughts like the ones I've described, but not the same intensity and not the same regularity that we do. For us, it's this locked in pattern that keeps repeating over and over, often without our control or our input, and we'll just churn along at its own pace, doing whatever it wants to do, cropping up whenever it chooses to crop up, and we often feel powerless. And it causes a lot of stress because it clouds our brain. It stops us from being able to function. It keeps us wrapped up in our anxious and depressive thinking. Our body becomes cued for a disaster. Our nervous system is anticipating danger. We become hypervigilant. All the autonomic nervous system responses happen. I can feel it in my body when I start to perseverate on something negative. I can feel very tense, difficulty relaxing, my sleep is disrupted, and I feel often, like I said, powerless to change it. What can you do about perseverative thinking? Well, personally speaking, I find that there's often not a lot you can do. It can sometimes go on for days. I'm anticipating some negative outcome, and I just have to wait it out. And the best I can do is preoccupy myself with something else, distract myself, do some form of relaxation or self-regulation, whether it's mindfulness, prayer, meditation, co-regulating, seeking out the company of other people who can help regulate us through their kind and affirming presence or words, explaining our situation to somebody who understands, who can help ground us. If you don't have access to somebody like that, using generative AI tools like ChatGPT and asking it to kind of step you through what you're experiencing, and it can often be very reassuring and offer grounding phrases that can help you center yourself. And I found I've even used it at times when I perseverated, because I don't want to burden somebody with the perseverative thinking spiral, because I know it's completely illogical, and I know that that person can help me to some extent, but the thoughts are going to keep happening, and I don't want to overburden them and cause compassion fatigue by asking repetitively for them to help me soothe my perseverative thinking. ChatGPT has endless reams of patience. It can tolerate all kinds of questions and persistence, because we do persist in our thought process and wanting to address the source of our anxiety or depressive thinking, and we want that reassurance repeatedly. It can do that because it's a machine and it's tireless. So those are some strategies to kind of deal with perseverative thinking when it crops up. I think being kind with yourself and recognizing that you have no control over it and that you're not causing this and that it is not a result of you being defective or flawed. It's just a brain process that neurodivergent brains tend to want to do a lot more. And being self-compassionate Doing a formal self compassion meditation or cultivating a practice to facilitate that ease and that comfort and that relaxation can also go a long way to helping you deal with perseverative noise. Have you struggled with this phenomenon in your life? How's it shown up? Has it weighed you down? Has it caused you a lot of unnecessary consternation, as it often does for many of us? How have you coped with it? What strategies have helped you deal with this perseverative noise in a constructive way and helped you get on with your day? I would love to hear from you.